5, 4, 3. Alrighty. Okay, so it looks like we are live. Hello, hello. All right, I am here to answer any questions you might have on the Computer Science Discoveries class. Let me set up my display is not arranged properly here. Send the link out first. Copy and let's get my second up and running. Okay. Here. This can go there. Ready. Okay. Let me know any questions you have. Type in the chat what sections you would like me to review. Come here. I was trying to get her to... What? It's fine. I was trying to get her to come up to me. Oh. Hello, hello. Type in the chat if there's any lesson you want me to review. I'm not going to be putting up any new content anytime soon. I'm going to start going through additional lessons next week. It's not mandatory, but if you want to follow along and learn, it's totally optional. I'm going to continue teaching the rest of Unit 3 and onward. Not mandatory. It's not being graded. I'm not doing that right now. But I am here to help if there is something you would like to learn. So I see I have 3 viewers. If you have any questions about the Code.org curriculum, go ahead and type your question in the chat. If there's any lesson at all that you would like me to review, wait. Let it finish loading. Code.org is being very, very slow. I imagine a lot of people are using it from home. Classes. Let's see. If there are any questions that you have on the Code.org curriculum, let me know. I am here to answer any questions on any lesson. Oh, hi. Hi. This is my dog. Her name is Pearl. All right, I have a question. What is the question? On lesson 7 of unit 3. Okay, let's head to lesson 7. Lesson 7, the draw loop. Which level are you stuck on? So we're in level 1 here. Level 2 is the video. Level 3 up here. Which level do you specifically need help on? The last one. Okay. Let's go to, so 11 here. Level 11. Level 12 is the last one. I just want to make sure that I can see what leads up to level 12. Property, okay, run the program, see how it works. Okay, and then level 12. Hey, drop it. How does she have a pretzel? Ugh. Sorry, my dog is getting into food somehow. All right, so we have all right, so this is a, purple check mark means this is an assessment section. So I don't want to give the answers out necessarily. Okay, I remember this now. So lesson 7, the last one, builds on what you built in lesson 6. So if you've completed lesson 6, there should be some code here already. So mine is a custom scene that I built. The idea is that you're supposed to have, looks like I don't. Oh, okay, so we could actually do this as an example. From lesson 6, you were supposed to create a standstill scene. So what I built, kind of a mock-up level from Super Mario for fun, but you can just add some sprites to the screen. Do you have the standstill scene done from lesson 6? Let me know in the chat if you have completed. So it's a still image on the page right now when you run your code. Okay, you made a cityscape. Great. Yeah, so what you have to do here is add the draw loop to your program, and you should only have one. So that's under world here, function draw, and we want to add this into our code somewhere. For ease, I am going to drop it to the bottom of the code, but it's not necessarily going to be our last line of code. Use the lasso selector. Yes, of course. Yeah, let me know when you're back. I'm going to try to set up my... Okay, yeah. Yeah, so basically all you're doing here is adding your code to the draw loop. So they want you to click, hold, and drag to select the code that will be updated each time and place it inside your draw loop. So the code that needs to be updated every time is, we'll find out that we need to have the background. Well, let's move that to here. So let's see what happens when we, so we'll leave our background up here at the top. So I'm just going to grab all of this stuff here and move all of it into, sometimes it helps to have a little extra space to work with. Move all of this into here. Cool. The problem that this is going to have, though, is when we start animating things, it's going to create multiple images. So add code to your program that updates your sprites X and Y or rotation properties. So I'm going to update Mario's Y property. So I'm going to do sorry, I actually called him Super Mario. Dot y gets Super Mario dot y plus 2. Susan wants to lesson 18. Okay, Susan, I will go over lesson 18 in just a minute. All right, so we add some code like this inside the draw loop to make it update. We reset and we run, and now Mario is moving, right? But he's leaving behind this trail, and actually I wanted to do -2 to make him move up. So I run the code, and Mario's moving up, but he's leaving behind this weird trail. So to fix that, we have to add the background in over top of our code, and that lets the background kind of cover over that track that he was leaving behind. And so you want it to look something like this, where there's some movement happening. Oh my goodness, we haven't covered the counter pattern yet. I'm sorry. So you actually want to use random number here. I got ahead of myself. Super Mario.y gets random number. I could do 300 and 100. Sorry, I jumped ahead of the lessons. So it'll look something like that right now for the random number. Yeah, so the function draw creates a loop, and the code, so the computer is reading this code line by line, right? The computer goes in and it reads line 1, it says, okay, there's a comment, I ignore that. Line 2, okay, line 2 creates a sprite. Line 3 sets the animation. Line 4 creates another sprite. Line 5 sets the animation on that. So the computer is reading each line of the code. The draw loop, what it does is it creates a block of code that the computer is going to read over and over and over and over and over and over. So any code that goes inside the draw loop, the computer is going to keep reading it over and over and over nonstop. You see what's happening here with Super Mario.y gets a random number. His y position is changing because the code inside of here is all running over and over and over. And actually, we don't even need most of this in there, but it has to be in the draw loop for it to keep reading it. The computer only reads this stuff one time, right? It reads line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, and then it reads line 7 and goes, oh, okay, all the rest of this stuff happens on a loop. So then the computer keeps reading line 8, line 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and back to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, back to 8, 9, 10, over and over for forever. As long as I leave it like this, it's going to keep reading that code over and over. So hopefully that's helpful. Good. Excellent. All right, so we're going to jump over to lesson 18, where Susan wants some help. What level do you want help on, Susan, of lesson 18? Which part of lesson 18? Oh, this is making my computer very slow. Okay. All right, Susan. All right. Sorry, my computer's being extremely slow right now. Let's see if quitting Google Chrome helps. Did I lose my live stream? I just lost my screen. I might still be live. So if you can see me, bear with me a second. I'm having a technical problem. My channel. Ah, good. Okay. So it's still, looks like it's still working. Okay. Oh, sorry. That would be my dog. Shh. Okay. All right. Lesson 18, level 3. There we go. Version history, start over. Loading, loading, loading. Okay. You should have discussed with your classmates how you create the sprite interaction you saw last level. Obviously, we can't do that. We're not in school. Can you make the giraffe move the monkey off the screen? So right now, we run the code, and we're going to see this giraffe is going to move over and eventually touch the monkey. So what we want is when the giraffe makes contact with the monkey, it's going to move the monkey off the screen. So in this particular level, I believe what we're supposed to be using here. So the giraffe is already moving across the screen toward the monkey, but the sprite interaction itself hasn't been programmed. Use the plan you developed with your classmates on the last level to program the sprite interaction yourself. All right, so the plan we should have come up with here involves is touching. We want when the giraffe touches the monkey, we want the monkey to move, right? So we're going to scroll down here and update our sprites. So use this sprite is touching. Oh, sorry. Nope, we need an if statement to put that in. There we go. If sprite is touching. So we need that if statement first. Sprite is touching target. So in this case, we have the sprite's name is giraffe, and the other sprite's name is monkey. So we're checking, is the giraffe touching the monkey? Don't worry so much about how that code works. There's a lot happening behind the scenes that's complicated, but the whole point of code.org is to make that simpler, and all we have to worry about is having this code here, this line, is the giraffe touching the monkey. What do we want to happen when the giraffe touches the monkey? Well, we want the monkey to be pushed off the screen by the giraffe, right? So we want the monkey to start moving. So we're going to set the monkey's velocity to what value? I'm going to try 3 and just see how that looks. So reset, run the code. Giraffe moves across the screen. Moving pretty slow. And now it hits the monkey. Oh, it kind of makes the monkey go faster. We don't want that to happen. We want the monkey to move at the same speed as the giraffe, right? So in order to do that, we could scroll up and find the giraffe's velocity, but instead, to make this even easier for the code to understand, we want the monkey's velocity to be equal to the giraffe's velocity. So all we have to do instead of putting a number is putting giraffe dot velocity. Whoops, that's off the screen. Giraffe dot velocity x. Whoops, oh my goodness. Velocity x. There we go. And so now the monkey should move at the same speed as the velocity. And there we go. Any other questions? Susan, I imagine you're moving on to part 4. After this, go ahead and give it a try on your own. So I'm going to click ahead to part 4 here. But try part 4 on your own, and then let me know if you have any questions. Does anybody else have any questions? Any questions at all? Any section of code.org. Susan, be sure to let me know if you have questions on part 4. There's a way to get some music in here. It's pretty boring without music. Okay, it's in the audio settings for my stream. I will have to do that for next time. Okay. Well, I am here if you have any questions. Let's see if I can set this to making a noise.
I'm here if you have any questions.
I don't want that to be. Let's do this. Sprite touching. So for is touching, which animal is first doesn't matter. It does start to matter when we learn more code. When you're learning about collide, it will matter. But for is touching, specifically, monkey is touching giraffe and giraffe is touching monkey will work the same way. So specifically, if we look down here, in this case with the hippo and the elephant, I did if elephant is touching hippo, but you could do hippo and elephant, and it would still work the same way. One more time, if you have any questions on any lesson of code.org, I've got lesson 18 up here, but if you want to review a previous lesson, I went over lesson 7 earlier with another student. If you want to go over lesson 7, lesson 8, let me know. All right, I'll give it about 5 more minutes. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any questions. Type them in the chat. All right, well, if there are no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you have any continued questions, any additional things you'd like me to review on code.org, email me, george.arnold@pgcps. Oh, we have a question about part 5. All right. I'm not wrapping things up. We're back. Okay, what is your question about part 5? It says someone tried to use sprite.displace to make the elephant push the hippo, but there is a bug. Can you change the code so the elephant pushes the hippo off the screen? So let's find, start over. Make sure that you and I are looking at the same code. I'm going to start this over. Loading, 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 loading. You do not need to use if. No, that's the great part about hippo displace elephant. So collide and displace and bounce. These are new blocks that we're learning how to use. They make things so simple we don't even need the if statement. It's great. So this has this kind of like behind the scenes. If you were to open up this block of code and look inside the block of code, you would see an if statement kind of behind the scenes. If is touching and some other things going on. but it's all wrapped up into this. So all we have to worry about is just hippo.displace elephant and what's wrong with it. So let's run the code and see what's wrong. So the hippo is pushing the elephant off the screen, right? We want the elephant to push the hippo. So looking at the code here, what do you think is wrong? Now, if you remember, I said earlier, for is touching, the order doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter for is touching. This is not is touching. This is displace. The order does matter when we're using displace because we're telling the code to have the hippo displace the elephant, which means the hippo will push the elephant. We want the elephant to push the hippo. So right now as you run this, right, the hippo, those two run, the hippo pushes the elephant off the screen, so instead we should have the elephant push the hippo. Exactly. The elephant has to be first. Very good. And that's all for level 5. I'm going to take her for a walk when this is over. All right, well, there's no rush to get all this done right away. We have plenty of time. There's no real due dates or deadlines going on. And quite honestly, I don't want anyone overworking themselves. If you've gotten through 5 parts of Lesson 18, I'd say it's a good stopping point for today. So if you want to continue working on your own and you have any questions, let me know. My email is at the top of the screen, right around here. Up here, I believe. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse. Oh, you can't. Interesting. I need to fix that in my next feed. Yeah, at the top of the screen, my email's there, george.arnold@pgcps.org. Shoot me an email if you have any more questions. And that will be it for today. Alrighty. That's about all that I have time for. And again, like I said, none of this stuff is mandatory. I am just kind of helping us learn if we want to be learning stuff from code.org, helping us catch up if we've fallen behind. So let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email, george.arnold@pgcps.org. I am more than happy to answer all questions about code.org content. And if you want to continue working on Lesson 18, I'll be doing this live stream again at 2 o'clock next Monday. So if there are no additional questions, I am going to sign off. I'll see you guys on Monday. So long.